Today, I want to analyze the numbers that came out in the pink press last week. The talk was that India had come out of recession, had grown 0.3, 0.4%. I wanted to examine the numbers. I was intrigued by a tweet by Subramaniam Swamy, whose politics I completely disagree. But in spite of our disagreement in politics, the fact remains that Subramaniam Swamy is a brilliant economist, especially in matters where statistics intersects with economics. Subramaniam Swamy and Paul Samuelson wrote a lot of papers. One of those papers is a theory of index numbers. So Subramaniam Swamy should know a thing or two about how GDP is calculated. In his tweet, Subramaniam Swamy said, if the guess estimate in the pain of MSME and SME is considered, and he said two indexes, one is the Laspre index and the other is the Pasteur index. Both, if you consider, the real growth would be minus 10 or minus 15%. We won't go by those historic formulas. Let us look at it dispassionately and see what the numbers say. The claim of the CSO is that our economy grew between 0.3 and 0.4. In statistics, the base number is very important. To manufacture this growth, the statisticians have reduced the growth of last year from 4 to 3.1. So there is a 4.1% growth. In Q3 of last year, India, according to the CSO office, grew at 4.1. That has been reduced to 3.3. So this growth has been calculated at 3.3 as the base instead of 4.1. If the base was 4.1, you would have had a negative growth. And because the base was reduced to 3.3, we have manufactured a plus 0.4 growth. If the base was 4.1, you would have had a swing of 0.8% and the growth would have been 0.5% negative. But this is not the main thing. The GDP estimates are based on statistics drawn from the top 2000 companies who respond to a survey. This is the listed space and does not carry nearly 80% of India's business, which is casual labor, small and micro industries, and large sections of the SME population. This means that the real pain in the economy is not being captured. If one goes by the anecdotal evidence on labor participation and employment and salary cuts, then it is quite clear that India has not grown by much. Even economists say, based on figures, that next quarter's growth may be negative based on the statistics numbers unless they are going to decrease the growth in the final quarter. Diesel consumption, which is a key indicator of how an economy is doing, is also down. This clearly shows that India is in a technical recession still. High combined with high inflation is basically stagflation. What the inflation has spread from basically a food inflation into commodities and other products. Commodity prices are at a multi year high, both in India and in the international market. And this has meant that prices of consumer goods, vehicles, and two wheelers have gone up. Yesterday, when I talked about Hero Motors, a 1% increase in sale has made sure that the revenue has gone up by more than 10%. This means Hero has increased its prices from last year by from 5 to 8%. This clearly means that all consumer durables prices have gone up and this summer may see another price rise. This is because steel, copper, aluminium, cement, all prices are rising. It's only a matter of time before commodity and food prices spill over into wages. This means that people are going to demand more salaries for their work they are doing. This will spread into doctors, fees, education, and even health and other service sectors will become more costlier. If this inflation takes hold, and this could after March, because inflation in February and March of last year was very high, and the high base will mean this year's inflation figures will look lesser than what it is actually is. So we can really expect inflation from April onwards. Adding to troubles for the government is the price of crude, which is extremely high, forcing the government to increase the prices of LPG and gas. This has hurt the common man and put him into a difficult spot. This means that middle class families and lower middle class families find it very difficult to make ends meet. And in this situation, the only solution for an inflationary spiral with anemic growth is increase the interest rates. The Reserve Bank has kept interest rates extremely low, hoping that it would stimulate growth. But even before growth can make an appearance, inflation has reared its ugly head. Definitely, the first quarter of next year will show great growth because, according to the CSO, the growth figures first quarter of last year was minus 24% and will swing wildly into positive territory because most of the shops and establishments were shut in the first quarter and will be open this time, and there will be a huge rise in sales of vehicles, consumer durables, service sector, and this will show a huge rise. One should not be lulled by the growth figures of Q1 of 21-22. The real problems will come in Q2, Q3, and Q4 of 21-22. Also, the government has revised its estimates from a negative growth of 7.5% to minus 8% for the entire year. This again is on the first estimate and can go down to Pranab Sen's figure of minus 9 to minus 10 by the time the second and third estimates come out. This will mean that we will have a good recovery next year where we will get back just below normal. Why do I say this? If it is 100 rupees was the turnover last full financial year and there was a minus 8% fall, then the turnover is minus 92. If you even grow at 10% as the finance minister says, you are going to just get back to 101, which means over 2 years you have grown at 1%. If the growth is going to be revised downwards further and you fall to 90, your 10% growth will mean that we remain at 99. This means that we have not grown over 2 years. Also, if you look at our Indian economy from 2016, for 4 consecutive years and 5 including this year, we have constantly gone down. In 70 years of independent India, we have never had a period where growth has consistently declined for 5 years. Next year may be a blip when we will go up because the growth will go up as shops and industries open, but we will revert to the new normal the year after. What is the indication that tells me that growth has not come back is the fact that credit from banks is only 6%. If India needs double digit growth, then credit growth also has to be in double digits. Thank you for watching Be Rich. It's a great privilege and honor that so many of you in thousands have subscribed to my channel and have supported me. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.